Hi, it's Kish, and welcome to another Grown Girl Glow Up video. I'm just relaxing here in the bedroom. It is um, right after Thanksgiving. We're actually into the month of December. And of course, as we go into the new year, we are looking forward to more holidays. Of course, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's, but many of us kind of take this time to just kind of take advantage of the downtime. A lot of us have time off where we could really reflect on things. And maybe 2024 was a little bit challenging for you. I know in some ways it was challenging for me. You may have faced a challenge in your health, maybe the health of a family member. Maybe you experienced some challenges in your finances, your relationships. I don't know about you, but 2024 was a little bit challenging for me. But instead of going into this new year, 2025, with the tradition of putting together some list of resolutions, I want to go into the year with a different mindset. And I know we hear about developing a positive mindset all the time. And I always would get annoyed when I would hear, you just have to have a positive mindset to improve your life. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to cultivate more of a hopeful mindset, cultivate a hopeful expectation for this new year. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about 3 ways we can cultivate that hopeful expectation for a better 2025. So do you remember when you were a kid and it was towards the end of the school year, you knew summer was coming up, and you just could not wait for the last day of school? The last day of school, many of us had game day where you'd be able to go outside and play games all day and eat candy and just do all the things that kids like to do on the last day of school. And I don't know about you, but I always looked forward to that last day of school. Not only because we had game day and we had candy and all the fun stuff, but I was looking forward to just not having to get up and go to the bus stop and sit in class all day. I was expecting to just stay up late, be outside all day, and just enjoy the summer. So I expected to have fun each summer as a kid. Now I know now that we're adults, sometimes it's hard to have that hopeful expectation of things in the future because we know things can change in a blink of an eye. Maybe a job that you were looking forward to starting, it just didn't happen. Maybe you weren't selected as the candidate for that job, even though you were looking forward to it. Maybe you were looking forward to buying a new home and you were expecting to get a home loan and the loan didn't go through. There's so many things that we expect as adults and they just don't happen. So it's really hard to live in that hopeful expectation type of mindset that I'm talking about. But if we're able to learn to cultivate, and I looked up the definition of cultivate, and it means to prepare. So to prepare and to actually use. Prepare and to use is what cultivate means. And if we are intentional about preparing our minds and preparing our lives in expectation of good things, I think it gets a little bit easier. And I don't mean to sound all woo-woo. I am a person of faith, and I do know for a fact that we can plan our lives in hopeful expectation by doing certain things. And the first thing we can do is speak it. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Our tongue, our words have so much power. I mean, they could lift up or they can cut. I'm sure you've had someone that you care about say things in a way that's cutting that hurt you more than maybe a physical injury had. Or you may have had someone that you really love, someone that you respect, speak words into your life that were uplifting, words that you always remember, and words that keep you encouraged. So either way, your words can really help cultivate the idea of hopeful expectation or not. So surrendering control is one of the biggest life lessons that I've learned, and I'm continuing to learn to not do this. But it's a big one. It's a big one for many of us. But sometimes when we hold on to controlling a specific outcome to happen, it really, really stresses us out. And sometimes taking control and holding on so tightly to a specific outcome to something really closes us off to a different outcome, maybe even a better outcome. So when we release that control but still have that hopeful expectation, it really, again, it really lifts that stress off of you and to the people around you. So that's a second way we can look towards 2025 in hopeful expectation of things to come into our lives at the time they're supposed to happen. So we've talked about this in other videos, but surrounding yourself with supportive and positive influence is such a huge part of our personal growth. It can't be stressed enough. Of course, when we talk about that, when we talk about influence, mainly that's our circle, the types of people that we surround ourselves with. Are we surrounding ourselves with those types of friends that lift us up, or friends who are negative and maybe gossip and maybe always have a problem that they want you to hear about, but don't have time to really support you in your time of need? Our circle of influence is so important. So let's look at, the types of people that we include in our lives. Also, this could include the types of things that we consume, as far as maybe not physical consumption, but maybe in our minds. Do we read negative news? Or I probably should say, do we watch negative news? I don't think anybody really reads newspapers anymore, but do you watch a lot of television news where there's lots of stories that are just negative and scary and violent? Of course, we want to know what's happening in the world, but I know a lot of people who just consume the news around the clock, it seems. Whenever they have free time, they're watching the news. And I know a perfect example of that was this past election season. I had friends who were so stressed out by the things that they were seeing on social media and in the news that it got to the point where it was just very difficult to have conversations without them bringing up things that were just so negative because they were reading and listening to these things in the news. So what types of things are you taking into your mind? Even movies. I know a long time ago I stopped watching movies that had themes of violence. And I know we're adults, and we can watch rated R movies, but sometimes those themes, those violent themes, whether it's violence against other people or animals or just abusive speech, those things really can affect the way you think. So let's look at the things that we consume as far as our news and movies, entertainment. And a positive influence could be even our surroundings. Studies have shown that when your surroundings are in disarray, when you have, piles of clothes and papers and, bills stacked up on your desk, it could cause stress. But by doing something simple like making up your bed in the morning, not only is that a feeling of accomplishment first thing in the morning, but it's organizing your space. It's your space influences how you feel, and your personal space especially. It creates a huge impact on your life, negatively or positively. So as we go into 2025, and by just focusing on speaking health and life over our relationships, our finances, and staying optimistic and hopeful of the things to come in our lives, 2025 could prove to be your year to be unstoppable. Well, I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I'm sure we'll see each other again. But let's continue to expect good things to come in our lives in 2025. All right, I will see you in the next Girl video. Bye.